Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. As we've been talking about over the last 2 days, especially related to the preparation for the Muharram 2025 lecture series, this is the third part of that discussion. Last time we promised to zoom out and look at the bigger forces that are shaping our lives. And in this particular discussion, it's not about spreadsheets, it's about a flyover, but just a human-sized view of the future. So why do we have to talk about the macro trends? So I'll give you an example. Imagine we're steering a boat. I don't know how many people have been on a boat, but there are two things that happen in a boat. One is the waves that hit the boat. The second one is the currents that take the boat. So when we think about the community pain points, for example, vaping or marriage stress, mental health. These are all waves which are slapping the hull of the boat. But the macro trends or the hidden currents are underneath the river. And if we don't read the currents, we fight the ocean or the river blindfolded. And that's why it's really important to understand those currents because they will impact our life over the next 3 years. So what lenses have we used? We've split the horizon into 5 buckets. And these include a technology aspect, geopolitics aspect, economy, health and well-being, society and culture. I'll give you a few examples. From a technology perspective, think about AI and how the AI will be part of life in every single thing that we do. And it will lead to a lot of things being done on their own, like self-driving everything. From the geopolitics perspective, the tug of war between big powers, the instability, the question of oppression, etc., that will be a big theme. And then from an economic perspective, inflation, job markets, and everything that is happening around us that will continue to make an impact. From a society and culture perspective, screen addiction, the family shifts, these are going to be big things, and all of these will be part of the headline from now through 2028. How did we do the scan? This is an important question that we should ask. So the approach that we have taken at the Rizanab is we basically looked at many different reports, research papers, like for example, World Economic Forum, IMF, Pew Research, and we only looked at trends which will impact through 2028 and then wrote them down in plain English with one hard number. For example, Gen AI could automate 30% of work tasks by 2027. And with this short list, we came up with 20 different trends that we then bucketed them between 3 to 5 trends per bucket per 5 buckets. So what did we do then? So those trends gave us a really interesting insights about how things will evolve. For example, mental health will overtake the flu. According to World Health Organization, depression would be the #1 health burden by 2030. His screen time will break records. Average adults will have nearly 7 hours a day on devices, and that will increase. The society will become much more touchier with political polarization. It's like it will be at an unprecedented level. The cost of living will remain high. AI will impact jobs, especially for the new people who are coming into the job market. Then the question becomes why our community should care. These trends, these things, these currents will impact a dad in New Jersey, a college freshman in Toronto, a grandma in London. In all the Western societies, they will face these currents. But there will be specific twists from a Shia perspective. For example, would that impact weddings because people cannot afford to marry, or they cannot afford the mahar, or the long screen times? Would that impact the children in school, but also the gathering of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, the morning of Karbala? Would AI deepfakes impact false information about religion. So all these twists we will discuss in detail in future conversations. But for now, just remember that the waves hurt more when we ignore the current. And therefore, what is important right now is we need to understand what big changes will keep all of us up at night, whether this will be related to our jobs, future spouses, or any other thing. But it's important to share this information, what you think, because once you share this information, we can incorporate that as part of the research that is being done for the Muharram lecture series at Dar Zainab. Because ultimately, the goal is to provide value and address the pain points that people are facing so that they're well equipped when they lead the Muharram discussions. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.